Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Friday afternoon, May 31st. We're looking at Window Trader's market profile of the ES and NQ. You know, people ask me why I call the KL and M the Three Stooges. It is a perfect example. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people also on social media that said they called this market with short-term traders dictating it make MGI very difficult to have any kind of continuation, and also to try to read it at times. Now, I had a good day today, but it was mostly early, and it was off on the short side. Now, we talk about odds all the time. The odds of taking back what we took back today are very slim. Now, I know it's the last day of the month. I know there was some rebalancing going on. But regardless, generally, especially NQ is down over 1.5%. Came back and took the whole day back. Okay? Took the whole day back, pretty much ended unchanged. Now, they got nowhere near. NQ had trouble at the base of their price spike down yesterday. And we even closed right at it. NQ, however, not only blew through it, they took out yesterday's high. So we ended up with an outside day up. So ES comes back to balance on the daily with that move in M period. Now volume's like 71 million now, which is much better than we've done recently. 21 million of it was M. I'm going to go over all these charts. We're definitely in a weekly balance in ES and NQ. ES is now balanced also on the daily with this incredible reversal. Righty opens higher. Takes back the trend day from Tuesday, only to come in. They took out the they took out the overnight high, but they took out the IB low. They don't take out the overnight low. They did fill that gap from the other day, so there's no more little island low down there. And they end 9 wide. NQ has almost a $10 range. You know what they have to lean on? Nothing. They have the day's high and the day's low. That's it. So if this market decides that all this was short covering and end of month trading and rebalancing, well, watch out. You're going to talk about chop. Look what a weekly low is. Very close to the 13th weekly low. ES goes out with only the day's high and low, but a price spike, price probe. So I'm using A's high. We had a 7 wide POC. So did NQ. So I'm not carrying that forward. So the day started. I shorted the high of the day in ES. I shorted right before the market opened. I shorted 70. We got up to 70 and a quarter. So that front running trade against the overnight high worked beautifully. By the way, ES gets both overnights, both IBs again. So for the year right now, let me get that little sheet that I have. We've taken out both IBs 41% of the time this year right now in ES. Okay, that's way above the 32.4% from last year. And we've taken out both sides of the overnights 25.7, which is above last year by, give me 1 second, I'll tell you, 2%. So we have done that. Those percentages have definitely been higher this year. It is our third highest range of the year, $9.14. So I shorted against the overnight high and did well on that. Then I absolutely crushed it in NQ in B and C. Just looking to short. The market had good tempo in NQ, good volume. The turnovers, which means that 9:45, 10 o'clock, the algos were firing down. So they were paying very nicely in B and C. So I had a really good B and C and NQ. Then G, I didn't do anything after that. Definitely should have shorted D period, especially when it opened against a single prints. I didn't do it. Even E. But I didn't. F period I was eating, so I didn't do anything. So my next trade wasn't until G period, which I shorted against the single prints and did okay on that. I was going to try to time taking out the one-time framing, but I didn't do it. But I did short both. Well, let's do NQ first, because there's only a small one. I shorted NQ and H and made some money on it. Not a lot. But NQ also pulled back in H, I, J, and K. ES never did. I started a short in ES in H period, just a one lot at 27. Now, I told the room I'm not too thrilled with that because two little things, especially one right off the bat. ES never lowered, now they lowered their volume pocket and TPO earlier when we made new lows, but it never lowered that TPO anymore when we were pushing down in D, E, and F. So when we got back up there and TPO was sitting there, I'm like, that 27 short, I'm not thrilled with it, but I'm looking to short higher because I think we eventually at least come back to get the POC. Now I did a bunch of add-ons and I did okay on. I shorted 30, came in. Now I could have taken that 27 kind off a scratch, basically, and I should have. Because net, I only lost small on the trade, but if I'd taken that off, I would have had a decent trade. Because I shorted short 30, came in, shorted 32, it came in. I shorted something else. I was in this trade for a long time. And then finally I said, if L takes that K, I'm taking it off. I did it 41. So I lost 14 points on that one lot, but I had made 11 points on all the other add-ons. So I only lost 3 points. 2 hours of crap to lose 3 points. Shame on me, though. I should have taken that one off for basically scratch or a couple of points lost, so I could have put money in my pocket on that trade. Now, after that, I'm like, I'm not shorting it anymore, but I certainly wasn't long in it either. Okay? If you're a hero and you thought this market was going to do what it did in them, God bless you. Okay? I wasn't looking to do that. Okay? Odds were not suggesting would value the single prints and everything else. If anything, I thought maybe they'd fill single prints, hold the open and roll back to POC. Odds would have suggested that. Odds would have suggested NQ fills C singles, but not this large set in B. Guess what? They did. That's why the odds are never 100%. Ever, ever, ever. But initially, they were pretty good, probably, to fill them. In fact, the room had asked me earlier, I think it was maybe an H period. And I said, well, right now, I think the odds of NQ taking back their whole trend day are only 5%. I said in ES, I think I said it was 15 to 20%. Because I noticed where the pocket and the volume pocket I'd raised to. Well, guess what? They filled them. So it doesn't matter. That's like watching a baseball game or a football game. 99% probability of a catch or this. No, it's not. The guy makes the catch, he caught it. Or 99% chance of him not catching it. So this isn't a math game. And that drives me crazy. But anyway, again, we have to trade odds. But again, look, in the past I could have gotten very, very stubborn. All right, a lot of you know that. So taking a 3-point loss, having a good day, a very good day, and a good week, and watching us do this, I have no problem with that. None whatsoever. Now, we pulled away from value very good. So the question is, are we going to revert back to value, or is this price spike going to hold? All remains to be seen on Monday. Okay? As far as destinations go, in SPY, on the upside we have, if I could find my sheet, 527.50 today's high. And then we have the price probe, 524.81. And then this week, today's low is a weekly low, 518.36. In ES, 99. Now again, I'm in bigger increments. So I don't know if these numbers are exactly right. Actually, that's makes it a lot easier, so we're more correct. You saw the profile. I put it in ones so you could see it easier. So 99.50 is today's high. 70.25 is the price probe or spike. And today's low is 05.50. I know I spent a little more time, but hopefully you guys and gals get value out of this. And if you do, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe and like to it, right? And more importantly, come check us out at camelbacktrading.org. A lot of different price points, okay, which I think would entice a lot of you. All right. IWM. We'll start with the little guy, like we usually do. Monthly is still balanced. Again, it's an inside month for them. Now, the question is it a 3-month balance? I think I'd probably still call it a 5-month balance for them. Let me just see something. 53. Yeah, I would use this. So I would say it's a 5-month balance, but it's an inside month. So you come out of it one way or the other. You go with it and monitor for continuation and just as importantly, lack of. So balance inside month. Weekly. Their weekly is down. Yeah, they had a nice recovery, but they're down in the weekly as far as I'm concerned. Okay? They came into balance last week. This week took out last week's low. They're down. And the daily is balance. We took out yesterday's low. We took out today's high. I'm sorry. We took out yesterday's low and yesterday's high, so we're balanced. How big is the balance? I would probably use Wednesday's low as the bottom of it. And this is that Thursday? I think that Thursday's high is the top of it. That's how I would use my balance. So a 6-day balance. So monthly is balance inside month, weekly down, daily 6-day balance. Q's and NQ. Monthly's up. Okay? Came out of balance, up. The weekly is firmly a 3-week balance. Last week's high is the top of it. 3 weeks ago is the low of it. So they're in a 3-week balance. And the daily, which has a very nice little hammer to finish, is down. They're still down. They have to take out today's high to go back to balance. So they're up on the monthly, balance on the weekly, down on the daily. They did go and close above the 20. Now let's go to the S&P. Up on the monthly. Some people are still calling this balance. I don't have a problem with that. I thought they took out last month's high by enough. They took it out by $9 or so almost. To me, it's up. It's subjective. Now, the weekly I was struggling with. I didn't know if I wanted to call it a 3-week balance or incorporate this week. But since we had that much of a rally, I'm going to say it's a 3-week balance. So I'm using this week's low as the bottom of it and last week's high, all-time high, as the high of it. 3 weeks, just like NQ. And the daily, because we came and took out yesterday's high now, is back to balance. I would say it's a 2-day balance or 3-day balance. Okay, I would say it's a 3-day balance, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Okay? But today's high and low is the high and low of the balance. So if we take out today's high Monday, daily's back to up. If we take out today's low Monday, daily's back to down. That's how I would look at it come Monday. So we'll see if the outside day up has any kind of power behind it in both righty and ES come Monday morning. Now look at the volume. Wow, I just noticed 88 million. Now, I don't think they're going to get into the top 10, which is 96.8, but a lot of volume printing after the close with this rebalancing and end of the month. Wow, a lot of volume. We were at 70 million at 4, so 18 million more have traded in SPY since then. Pretty interesting. Anyway, I know this is a long video. I hope it helps. Enjoy your weekend. Stay safe. I hope you had a good week trading. And we'll speak prior to the opening on Monday.